We had just met the previous week in Bonn, my new German acquaintance and I, and here we were on the west coast of Africa on a hot Thursday morning, looking for an underwater city in the middle of the desert. Our destination was an unremarkable set of prehistoric ruins. The shared interest, about the only thing we had in common, that had brought Michael Hübner and me together in Morocco for what felt like a very awkward second date, was Atlantis. Hübner was certain he had found it. Hübner was far from alone in this belief. I'd already met plenty of other enthusiastic Atlantis seekers who'd used clues gleaned from Renaissance maps or obscure Babylonian myths or unpublished documents from the Vatican's secret archives to pinpoint its supposed location. There didn't seem to be a lot of consensus. Morocco was the 8th country on 3 continents that I'd visited as I pursued those who pursued Atlantis, the legendary lost city. I'd become as fascinated by them as they were by their quest. I hadn't seen my wife and children for a month. Hübner's unique search strategy was data analysis. He had scoured ancient literature for every mention of Atlantis that he could find, and then plugged that data into an algorithm far too complicated for a math novice like me to understand. His results were clear, though. According to his calculations and the laws of probability, the capital city of Atlantis had absolutely positively existed just a few hundred feet ahead at the nexus of GPS coordinates we were tracking. It is very, very improbable that all these criteria are combined by chance in one area, he had already told me several times, his monotone voice betraying not the slightest doubt. I wasn't so sure. Perhaps the defining characteristic of the landscape around us, the foothills of the Atlas Mountains, was its complete lack of water. Twice on the way here, my driver had slammed on the brakes to avoid crashing into herds of camels crossing the road. The one thing that everyone knows about the legend of Atlantis is that it sank beneath the seas. Hübner had a ready explanation for this aquatic discrepancy. An earthquake in the Atlantic Ocean, a few miles west of where we were hiking, had caused a tsunami that had flooded the Moroccan coast and then receded. The ancient story of this deluge had simply gotten garbled over generations of retelling.